Hey, what's poppin' all y'all? It's Sunday night again. Hey, we're back. We're back once again for our weekly communion. And for those of you that are with us live, I salute you again. And for those of you watching in replay, you're in for a special treat because before I even say hello to any of these people and these beautiful, beautiful, wonderful dividend investors in the chat, I'm going to show you right away because I got a very special guest for you. You'll never believe who it is. So I wanted to show you the biggest losers in my portfolio right now. Why? Because we're open and transparent here about everything on the channel. So I got to get myself set up there because I'm old school. I'm freaked out that I'm not going to be on. So there we go. We're on. But here you go. There it is. These are the top losers in my portfolio. I talked about this with Troy. I called him Troy Destroy on the channel. I shared it. Dividend Obsession. AT&T, check that out, down 33%. Leggett and Platt down 30.31% on those two are the biggest losers that I'm not that confident in anymore. AT&T, we've beaten it's a dead horse. We've beaten that to smithereens. Why we don't like it. If you don't know, you can ask, and we'll touch on that. And then to round out a couple of the more dividend stocks, WBD I don't count. Warner Brothers Discovery, that may be on the way out, and it's only 28 shares. But to round that out, we also have Innovative Industrial Properties, ticker IIPR. 45 shares were down 26%. Harrow Incorporated, this is one that is my non-dividend play. It's been struggling lately. Not worried. I think they're going places, big places in the future. So I'm patient to sit on my hands and wait. And then Realty Income down basically 20% and Target down 18%. So those are the biggest losers in my portfolio. We're going to talk to our guest about the biggest losers in his portfolio. And we're going to bring him on here. You know him, you love him. Tell us also in the chat your biggest losers or what you're planning on doing with them. Without further ado, it's really him in the flesh, in person, live from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. It is Ryne Williams. Say hello to Ryne Williams, everybody.
What's up, gang?
I guess I should say hello to you. They can't talk to you. I'm sitting here like, hey, these people ain't saying hello to him. Rude.
No,
What's the matter with
they
them?
can say hi, man. We got the live chat going.
Yes, there we go. Is that better? How about that? All
There we
right.
go.
So, what's the biggest loser in your port? Just tell us what the biggest
Let me
loser in
look
your
right
portfolio.
now, man. It looks like Verizon actually right now is my biggest loser. I'm down almost 40% with Verizon, which I'm actually surprised to see this. I didn't realize I was down this much. So it goes Verizon is my biggest loser. AT&T is in second place. I'm down 28%. And then we got, looks like Intel about 21%. KRC down 22%. And then WB Carry down 21%. So honestly, not too surprised by any of those.
Yeah. You're Verizon. What are you gonna do with it? Any plans to sell? Any cut bait? You're gonna hold? You're gonna wait? Be stubborn like me with AT&T?
Yeah, it's something I probably should give more thought, but I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'm really torn.
I know, because I'm I'm stubborn, and B, I don't know if you're like me. I feel like I know as soon as I sell, it's gonna rocket ship. They're gonna announce that they've cured cancer and they've found the fountain of youth. And if you own an
Yeah.
AT&T product, you'll be a multimillionaire, and then the stock's gonna just go to all-time highs. But
Wait, so do you have
also,
both, or you just have AT&T?
no, so smart. What I did, I sold all my Verizon and pretty much rolled it into either SCHD
Okay.
or AT&T. So yeah, I rolled most of my Verizon into more AT&T, which is what really inflated that, and it has not worked out at all,
Not yet.
at all,
Not yet.
and not yet. That's the thing. And like I told you, part of it feels like being in a cult because uh,
Yeah.
John Stanky's underhanded. Well, I don't want to say it like that. Pascal DeRoche, their CFO, has always been saying, look, the cash flow is light in the beginning of the year. It'll pick up toward the end of the year. And we really expect it to pick up into 2024 and 2025 when they start recouping a lot of the infrastructure that they built out. I'm just like, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. I'll hold. Thank you, Pascal. but
I mean,
we'll see if that's going to
at least
happen.
this year, that's how it's played out. So I don't know, man. With AT&T, yeah, admittedly, I feel a little bit better about AT&T right now than I do Verizon, and maybe that's just because AT&T's been more in the news. Maybe I've kept a little bit closer tabs on that. But I feel like since the spinoff, they've actually been heading in a better direction. So I would say at this point, I'm not as eager to sell out of AT&T as I would be with Verizon. And I don't know. You could make the argument that neither of them are good to have, but if I had to sell out of one at this point, I'd probably sooner sell Verizon. So I might
Yeah,
be
we'll see.
crucified for saying that, but
It's kind of funny. I just thought of I don't remember his name. Maybe somebody in the chat can let us know. But the one of the past CEOs of T-Mobile had called AT&T and T and Verizon Dumb and Dumber, and it's kind of funny that they're doing some of the similar things now, and especially they started paying a dividend. By the way, I want to say, dude, you're staying up late. Nathan from England, and I know because we were over there in Ireland, which is 6 hours ahead of us here in Chicago time. But yeah, thank you. Fort Worth, Texas in the house. Lincoln, Nebraska. Jim, what's up, Jim Betts? He reminds me of Morrissey. He said his IQ is about the temperature of the room. So I like people that do that. I'm self-deprecating in that way as well. So look at this spread we got. Phil from Montreal, maybe a francophone. And I think that's all the people saying where they're from.
the dividend investing community spreads far and wide.
It is. Here, Jim, by the way, I'll put you on there with your Verizon, NextEra Energy, and O are your top three losers. Do you have plans to sell any of those? And I don't know. NEE looks tempting, but I think they have a lot of debt and maybe they went too heavy into clean energy. I've never dug deep into them. I did look into NextEra Energy Partners, which is, I think, a subsidiary of them. We got Texas in the house.
NEP, right?
NEP, correct.
Yeah.
I always like his logo. Did you ever play Mega Man? Do you know what Mega Man is? You probably do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm one of the kids that played the original Mega Man, like the 1986 version. Mega Man. I don't remember much about it. I was more of a Sega kid. That's a debate we could have: Sega versus Nintendo.
You're gonna have to get Harris on for that one.
Yeah, dude. Phil though, Walgreens the biggest loser. My wife actually were talking about it, and I was telling her how people are worried. The market's nervous about Walgreens. I'd love to know what you think, but she was like, if it goes under 20, we should buy some. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, maybe. But she's the one who also told me not to sell Tesla, and I sold Tesla because they were for sure going bankrupt. So what do you think about Walgreens?
I don't know, man. I was going to ask you because it's really not one that I've kept that close to tabs on. I see them everywhere. There's probably like just between here and my gym, which is a few mile stretch. I bet there's like 4 different Walgreens on the way. So they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't go in them too often. There actually is one on the Las Vegas Strip that is a madhouse. I think you even know what I'm talking about. Maybe I think you went in there, didn't you?
No, that was a CVS. I think
CVS. Okay.
Yeah,
but yeah. With Walgreens, I don't know. There. Yeah, I don't know about Walgreens. I haven't paid too much attention to it, but I do know it's pretty dang cheap. But I don't know why the sentiment's so low with the company. That's one thing I've not really spent time on.
It's the cheapest it's been since 1998, I believe, is what I tweeted out. Whatever I tweeted out that chart, dude. Davido Dom. God, I could do it. I could read. Raytheon. Interesting. I would think Raytheon. Oh, yeah, they had some issues with jet engines, right? What's going on with that? Anybody? Pat says, hello, Ryan. How are you doing?
What's up, Pat? Good to see you.
Crypto Dick's got Moderna as his biggest loser. Hey, that one I'm not surprised by. I could see that one coming once once COVID started dwindling a bit, I'm not surprised at that. So I'm sorry.
Same with Pfizer.
Sorry. Yeah, Pfizer's a big one, dude. That's one I didn't listen to my guy Darth Dividend on. He was pushing Pfizer for a minute, and it sounded good, but I steered clear of it. So
it may be
at
good
least
now.
Outright.
Maybe good now. I don't think they have any debt, from what I remember.
If the dividends are still holding, what would be the reason for selling? Well, For me, like I'll just say for mine, my conviction has gone with AT&T because the return with dividends reinvested is just god awful. The past 10 years, 15 years, you just keep going back. It's terrible. But that's a good point. In all seriousness, Pat, yeah, if the your thesis for investing is still intact, right? It's a great opportunity. What say you, Mr. Williams?
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think that's probably been one of the things keeping me out of or keeping me from selling both AT&T and T and Verizon. Just the thought that both companies will continue to generate steady cash flows. The dividend, I'd be surprised if that ever ceased, but also kind of to your point as well, this is where investing becomes a tricky thing because you can look at it from Pat's point of view and think, well, if the dividend's still there, that should be all that matters, right? Well, on one hand, sure, but then there is more to that too because you have to look at the opportunity cost. Is my money okay here, or would it grow at a faster rate? Would I generate a higher total return if I put it elsewhere? Like for example, you know, my Verizon position's only gone down. You could make the argument that yes, although the dividends are still intact, I would have been better off selling that, putting it into Williams Sonoma, which is up over 20% since June. So that's kind of I don't know. I guess that's the other way to look at it as well, and that's where it gets
Dude,
tough.
Williams Sonoma. My God. I remember I was looking at Williams Sonoma and Target, and I was thinking, like, well, I got exposure to Williams Sonoma inside of SCHD, and I liked it because remember, we talked about a while ago. We were like, yeah, it's one of those companies that has no debt. We each did a bit, and you bought them. I didn't. And then for some reason, they're one of the stocks now that never goes down. Everybody loves them.
But the reason they jumped up wasn't it didn't necessarily have to do with any outstanding performance by the company. It jumped up recently just because some big whale bought a ton of shares and that pushed it up.
Hey,
So I don't know. It's cool to see that unrealized gain, but at the same time, I just don't know how long that'll last because of the reason it jumped in the first place. You know what I mean?
yeah, that almost reminds me of the penny stock pump and dump stuff back in the days when I used to screw around with penny stocks. They
Yeah.
would, dude, there would be groups or big investors would buy a chunk and it would shoot the price up and then they would sell. Everybody would start by it was the pump and dump.
Mhm.
Need a shirt that says "Don't get pump and dump." Look at this. We got Omaha, Nebraska in the house, still going with them. Frank, Mega Man 10, Mega Man X. I don't know if it's 10, right? X, 10, Roman numerals. Usually Michigan, Northern Nevada. Hey, we got another Northern Nevada there.
Nice.
Jimmy, you're going to keep all three and probably won't add to Verizon, but we'll add to Next Era Energy and O. Hey, that's, yeah, and Next Era Energy. That's, I don't know. I know a lot of people are digging that one right now.
It's down so much just in the last month.
It's
I
going
think it
to
might.
eventually stop. I mean, I would think. I don't know. Well, there's a saying, and I don't know if you guys agree with this. They say don't try and catch the falling knife. Wait for it to hit the bottom, roll around on the floor, and then start to come back up before you pick the stock up. So that could be. Hey, everybody listening, I don't know. Is it just my thing? Is it the feed okay? Because Ryan sometimes keeps freezing up on me. A little inside thing we were talking about. I'm gonna be getting a new laptop here. I'm going with the MacBook Pro, but I'm waiting for the Black Friday deals. But I'm starting to get this thing. It's you guys know we have problems. Those of you that are regulars, you know we've had problems in the past. Oh, anyway, so
Russ is also about 7 Guinnesses deep, so his vision's a little blurry right now.
not yet, not yet. I wish. I don't wish. Yeah, we just went to the Guinness. I want to say the factory, the brew house in Chicago, Friday night, date night with my wife and I. It was not my type of place. I knew it was going to be pricey, but it was too bright and it was too new. Everything was new and very, very bright and well lit. Not my kind of place. I'm more of like a dark, like dark, creepy dive bar type place. I don't know. That's my vibe. Let's see. Look at this. Phildo, the great Phildo, is worried that Verizon might cut the. I think. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm thinking he's meaning. Well, let's not put words in your mouth, Phil. Maybe it's Verizon.
Could be them or maybe Walgreens even.
Maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at either. Anuj, right? Biggest loser, 3M, MPW, and Verizon. Hey, you got the smiley face, so it looks like you're in good spirits about it. Out of those, man, 3M is just the. So here's a funny story. 3M is one of those that I was on the fence about. And right when I started getting into this stuff, Ian Lopik was talking about how he was buying 3M like $220 a share. I was like, well, he knows, like, that must be good. When it came down to around 200, I was like, well, see, Ian was buying around 220. What a deal I'm getting at 200. And look where we are now. Jim, thank you once again for sharing all that you do share, Jim. You got your wife off the Verizon plan and added to the consumer cellular. I don't know that. Consumer cellular is $5 less per month than a Verizon plan. All right, dude, you're I don't remember. I think I'm Jim. I don't know what to say, but I think you're a military veteran, right? I know he's had some dealings with the military that he's told me in email, and I know it sounds like secretive and whatnot, but I don't want to. A, I don't want to get anything wrong, and B, I don't want to divulge any information that may be, I don't know, sensitive, or I don't know if he has any NDAs signed. Or... All right, I'm almost caught up here. What do you want to ask our guest? Ask Mr. Williams a question if you would so like to ask him. It could be about anything, you know. So I want to get to this one first as well. Dude, are you a guitar player, or is that just, I'm assuming?
What is that? I'm trying to see who that is.
I don't know. It's Noah Gallagher, maybe. I don't know. It could be anybody.
From Oasis. So right now in Vegas, there's they call it the When We Were Young. Well, you know Russ.
My buddy's
the
there.
When We Were Young festival, but a lot of punk rock bands are here, like Blink-182 is here, Green Day's here. I don't even know who else is here. Good Charlotte, I think, is here. Oh, Rise Against, okay. I saw a picture of Travis Barker, who's the drummer for Blink-182, with Fat Mike.
Dude,
we gotta get you out here, and we just gotta go to the museum.
I was telling to my wife today. I said we're going for my birthday. I don't want to buy. Does anybody watching? Do you have any tips when you like to buy airfare? I read that you're supposed to wait 30 to 45 days before you want to go. But yes, that is going to be nothing to a lot of people don't know who Fat Mike is, but one of my musical heroes, you know. I love it, Kevin. He has a poster of John Stanky. Maybe you're in the cult too.
Is it the one in the Speedo? Because I have that one too, I think. Nice.
They were all sold out. I wanted to. Hot dog. His biggest loser is Pfizer, and is that ConAgra?
Yeah.
CAG? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of those bond proxies are going down. By the way, Ryne, am I pixelated at all to you or anything? Am I coming out clean and okay?
Yeah, man, you are crystal clear.
Good. Maybe it's not my connection for once. I don't know. I can, whatever. Drake pick. Oh, yeah, I was going to say Drake. Funny thing, at the apple picking place where we were at, and this might be more of your, I don't know what generation he was. Not my genre, but they had apples. It was a new strain of apple they had, and they were called Ludacrisp. So I don't know. I tried it. It did. I don't know if any of you have had the Ludacrisp apples.
I'm just a fan of the Fuji.
Yeah. I get, dude. Come on. Am I going too deep with that? Are you making a play on like the Fugees? Fuji apple?
No, I like Fuji apples.
Oh, well, I thought maybe you
meant
like
the band of Fugees is just fine, but the Fuji apples, I'm a big fan of.
Welcome to the Dapper Dividends YouTube channel, where we're going to talk about apple varieties and apple.
Yeah, dude, this is like the variety hour.
And it's not apple, the apple you type on. It's the apple you
This is a good question.
Mash up into cider. All right, John, what dividends? It threw me. I'm like, $DIVY. Who is that? What divvy companies is best positioned to withstand black swans and recession? They talk about. Yeah. So first of all, I think they said you're in a recession when you can look back at the data. So you don't really know you're in one until like you're almost out of it, or I don't remember how that saying went. I butchered it, but I will say, as far as withstanding black swans, that's a tough one because, I mean, we don't know anything could be a black swan, like the Tylenol murders we talked about in 1983 in Chicago. I mean, that was a black swan. Nobody could have imagined that. So the black swans, right, are the things nobody can predict or think of.
So I mean, if we're talking black swan, just not on an individual company level, because that was something that happened specific to J&J. So if we're just talking like a crazy black swan event, like think the pandemic or something like that, and this applies to the recession too. I would look for companies that, number one, have products that you still need to use, regardless of what's going on. And one of the first ones that comes to mind for me is Procter and Gamble, something like that. You could make the argument for Coca-Cola too, but those staple companies, that's number one. But number two, I think you can't go wrong buying companies that have little to no debt. So that's another good thing to look for. So can't go bankrupt if you don't have any debt. So.
Yeah, dude, that is so huge, is the no debt. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of companies get punished. And I know I teased it, guys. I teased it for this week. I wanted to do it. It will be next week. I have this whole big Reit spreadsheet that I've been working diligently on putting out. So hopefully by Friday, Saturday, I'm going to have it out. And there's going to be all kinds of good information in it. But I think Realty Income is one of those that's being punished because of their debt. But I would suggest, when looking at businesses that have a lot of debt, there's a saying now that's kind of going out, or is around the street, I guess, that I've heard, is stay alive till 25, something like that, meaning that most people are thinking rates will start coming down and being cut sometime by 2025. So if you don't have a crazy amount of debt maturing before 2025, when you would have to refinance it to a higher rate, then you should be okay. So I'm going to include that into my spreadsheet here, showing some of the debt. But yeah, it's just overall, it's no debt is just a great thing, unless you're making in excess of what you're paying in interest and borrowing it at and all that, the cost of that. So, yeah. But yeah, just a good rule of thumb. Like, not a lot of debt is a really, really good.
And on the topic of spreadsheets, if you guys haven't checked out Russ's video talking about the top snack food companies, definitely check that out, because he made a really cool spreadsheet that you can download, and I think you guys would like it. So definitely give that video a watch if you haven't already.
Yeah, data nerds will like it. They'll like it. Yeah. Oh, dude, you're still on Albemarle. No kidding. That's ALB. T-Row and Walgreens. It's okay. We all got them. DeRake is selling Wall Street. What the hell am I talking about? I was almost Wall Street something. No, Williams-Sonoma. Yes. Ryan, did you end up choosing a name for your morning streams yet?
I have not yet. I have some really good suggestions come to me in the comments, but I haven't chosen one off the top of my head, or not off the top of my head. The one that I'm really most married to right now is the warm up. I think that's a kind of a cool name, and it's simple. It's not too long, and it kind of encompasses everything that's going on in the stream. So, but we'll see. I've got about a week and some change to figure it out. So, but it's kind of getting crunch time.
Wake up with Williams or something like that.
Yeah. We'll see. We shall see.
Yeah. Nice. Well, it's nice to see you too here, Forest Moto Adventures.
It's cool to be on here. I don't feel like we've done this for a long time.
No, it was just kind of random. Yeah. I mean, I was going to come on by myself, but
yeah,
I don't
care. And I just invited myself on. So for those of you guys, I talk about it from time to time, but Russ, Harris, and myself, we pretty much talk every single day. It's just kind of funny. We've got a big group chat going, and it's cool.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. It's fun to throw out ideas, be a little goofy sometimes. Honestly, I don't know about this. The end phase drop, I did see it, and I don't know why they dropped so hard. Do you have any idea? I didn't look into it.
No, I'm not sure.
And they don't pay a dividend, right? I don't think they pay a dividend. So, yeah.
I don't know.
Am I thinking of something else? Am I going to look smart, or let's see, everybody.
Jump over to Seeking Alpha. Dang. So they were down 27% on Friday after a weak outlook. Wow.
Okay. Well, then if you're a long-term believer in the stock, could be a great buying opportunity.
But you're right, no dividend on them or from them.
Yes.
Mm.
I don't know why I remembered that. I think it sounds like they should pay a dividend. It sounds like they should be a dividend paying stock.
Yeah, it's I almost want to I almost look at it and think Energy Transfer for some reason.
That's
I don't know
probably
why.
what, yeah.
Or like Energy Transfer, Enterprise Products Partners, the ticker in the name, just those E companies screams like midstream MLP.
Yeah, yeah. Late game hero. Oh, is my biggest loser. Loser down 24%. Yeah, overall, but I would max out my Roth with it right now if it didn't cut into my 6-month emergency fund. Yeah, you probably don't want to cut into your emergency fund. But yeah, honestly, with Realty Income, I'm holding them. The only knock on them that I'm not really wanting to dive hard into them is I think they're struggling to find growth opportunities, which, we talked about that on, I think Harris's 50th podcast episode about, yeah, they're trying to get into Bellagio and get into gaming now. I think they're just trying to grow bigger, and it's harder for them to move the needle the bigger they get.
Yeah.
Good. No lag. Stream seems normal. Good thing. That might just be, it's the laptop. Just don't let it hear me say that. I told Ryan before we start, I'm like, damn it, I shouldn't have said something. It's Ghost in the Machine is gonna haunt me.
It's
But
temperamental.
here we go. Question for you, Mr. Williams. What percentage of your dividend income do you put to the side to pay for the double taxation of dividend income? Uh-oh.
Nah, I
Uh-oh.
don't put any I don't put any aside.
Oh, we've got some I guess I sense a little jab there, KC.
I know.
Yeah,
I feel that as well.
that's fine. That's fine. You're going to pay the tax man one way or another. And hey, you know what? Over many, many years, I think it's going to more than balance out when you start getting that nice yield on cost. Um, Obviously, Warren Buffett has no problem. Berkshire holding dividend paying stocks for many years. But I think the key difference is that, and this is where I struggle with sometimes, and why I kind of wanted to start buying Harrow Health is it just we look at, don't get focused solely on the dividend. You got to focus on the business first, and that's what I'm really trying to learn and talk about. Oh, dude, little bit of news on DN on CCI Crown Castle. I think that's CCI. They had raised their dividend every October for 9 years in a row. This is the first October in 9 years that they haven't raised that dividend. So I think it was there's something to do with a carrier they lost on some of their towers that was bought. No, so Sprint, right, was bought by T-Mobile. So I think that had something to do with higher interest rates and whatnot. So, hey, Trevon, nice to welcome back. Trevon, anyone buying GPC down 12%? I don't know GPC.
Genuine Parts Company.
Oh, oh,
They're dividend king. But the dividend
look at
stats aren't
this
that
guy.
great though. The dividend stats aren't that. I mean, the yield's
I
decent. You've got like a mid 3% yield, but the 5-year CAGR, from what I remember, is like less than 5%. So, yeah,
what has two thumbs and sold GPC? This guy a while ago for a nice gain. I was up big on them, and I don't remember. It was in our self-directed retirement account. I don't remember what I sold it to buy, but I remember looking at it. I had 10 shares. I was way up. Probably, I think. I knew. No, I wanted to buy more. I think more Aries Capital and Realty Income and Vici. I think those are. I kind of broke it up into those three. Just wanted to take more advantage of the tax advantaged positioning of the retirement account. But yeah, 3M below 100 just shows you anything can happen. Anything can happen. And it's all dude, if a business is dying, the market's going to punish them. They ain't going to say like, well, you've been around for a few hundred years. We're just going to keep buying you. It's like,
so
it's all about that
with
cash
that
flow.
said, Russ, do you think that's
Yeah.
what's going on with 3M? I mean, all stocks are kind of going down, so they're getting that as well. But just in general,
Yeah.
what do you think
Multiple
about
headwinds.
3M?
Yeah, absolutely. They got the litigation. They've had revenue that's kind of stagnating. I think management probably needs to be turned over. I think it's time for the board to get a new CEO in there. Roman something. I don't remember his full name. I just think, and debt, like there's just so many things that's going on with 3M that, they're kind of struggling right now. And I don't know. I think that dividend's going to get cut. And we've been saying it. I think when they spin off their consumer health, that's when they're going to cut that dividend. Because of those of you watching that don't know, when a spinoff happens, if I almost said spinned off entity, you like that? If the spinned off entity keeps paying a dividend and you combine that with the parent company, well, not parent company because they don't own them anymore, but this, I'm all tongue tied here. I was going to say the spinners. we just make up fresh
The
Wall
spinners
Street
and the
terms here.
spinettes.
Yeah. So if the spinet is paying a dividend, that when you combine it with the spinners, some people are like, this is like kindergarten here. If it's called making the investor whole. If it's the same amount, then it's not considered a dividend cut. But I have a feeling that 3M is going to lower their dividend. And when you combine it with the consumer health segment that's being spun off, I don't think it's going to equal where their dividend's at right now. So it would effectively be a cut like AT&T. Look, we have the Sith Lord in the house. We got Darth. What's up, man? Hello. Thank you for coming by. Let us know if you have any questions you want to tell us about anything at all. I don't ask. Oh, WPC. He just did a video on WPC. All you need to know. Why didn't you watch it, Kevin? Naughty, Kevin. Naughty.
I don't know how closely you follow the company, Russ, but have you been keeping tabs on that at all, or do you have any thoughts on WP Carey and the spinoff, and whether
it was weird. A lot of office. Yeah, it was kind of a quick thing. Like nobody was expecting it out of left field. A lot of office space exposure, right? I think, was it like 10, 11%, something like that? I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I've never owned them outright. Just, kind of peeked in through the windows. I've never gone and sat down and, but yeah, what is your thoughts about it?
Well,
if you want to divulge any, you could just tell people watch my video and then leave it at that.
Well, yeah, I mean you can do that, but I mean we're here. I won't go. I won't give too much of a rant on it. But first and foremost, I understand why a lot of people are not happy with WP Carey because it was a very abrupt move and their delivery was, was pretty poor, and it definitely felt like they kind of pulled the rug out from under investors in the sense that they announced the spinoff literally a week after announcing a raise to the dividend. So, just really odd timing. But trying to be objective about the move, about the spinoff, and trying not to just look at the delivery, but look at what they're actually doing. I feel like it could be a good move from a long-term perspective, and I know their intent is to do this and hopefully unlock more growth for the company by having a more focused portfolio, without what they think is a lagging like office, little office set of offices, whatever. So I understand that. Whether or not that'll actually be the case, only time will tell. But I understand the reasoning behind the move, and even though the reduction of the is not ideal, I'm hoping it'll end up being like taking one step back to then take two steps forward. But once again, time's going to tell. I could be wrong about that, but that's kind of how I'm choosing to look at it. And I think a lot of people are upset with management for making this move and how they did it, which is, like I said, is understandable. But prior to this, they've been rock solid. And, prior to this, they were, I'll just repeat myself, they were rock solid and no one ever had any issues with the company. It was always held in pretty high regard. So, that's kind of my take on the whole thing.
Yeah, I think it reminds me of Realty Income. Well, they merged with another company that was almost like a smaller clone version of Realty Income called Reit. They merged together and then they immediately shat out all of the office properties into Orion Office. Was it Orion? ONL, yeah. Orion Office. I don't remember the last part of that, but yeah, they were like, they got ahead of the curve. They just got rid of it all. And they didn't. So I don't know if maybe WB Carey is just like rip the Band-Aid off now. Just let's get
Yeah.
rid of office now, and that's.
And the thing is, too, sorry, I don't mean to dwell on this subject. The thing
Mhm.
is, too, so WP Carey over the last, I think, like 8 or so years has been slowly divulging their office assets. It used to be, I think, upwards of 30% of their portfolio. I might have these numbers a bit wrong, so
Yeah,
excuse me if I do. I think it was upwards of 30% of their portfolio, and over time they had brought that down to less than half of that number. And I think, like you said earlier, it was maybe 11 or 12% of their overall portfolio. Like I said, I could have these numbers a bit wrong. I don't remember. So they were doing this anyway. And then, like you said, this was kind of an attempt to just rip the Band-Aid off and really expedite the process. And one other reason, just comparing this move to what Realty Income did, there's a lot of symmetry between these two moves. They're almost identical in nature.
yep.
The difference is, though, Realty Income maintained their dividend. They didn't cut their dividend. That was still intact, whereas that won't be the case with WP Carey. The remaining parent company's going to have a little bit of a lower dividend. We don't know exactly how much, but that is one difference between these two moves that also has upset a lot of people.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, I'm going to show you this real quick. I wanted to just check the office space. I don't know if you guys, this is a site that, let me do this, hide us, that Jeremy from Dividend Stockpile turned me on to a while back, called allreits.com, ALREITS.com. And I just plugged it in. So they give their own, scores and ratings and whatnot. It's all free. I think they have a paid version, but dividend stats and whatnot. But at the bottom, I like that. So I've been using this for my spreadsheet I'm building for showing occupancies. So it shows our occupancy, but then also I wanted to know how much these REITs have exposure to office. So right here, you can see their diversification by property type, where 17.2% they show that WP Carey has, and this is all pre spin, but it's a nice little site for free. It got news and stuff, but yeah, I've been using that to see where, if any, office exposure. So that's all REITs, but yeah, so 17%. I mean, that's not crazy, but it's a good amount. All right, there we go. Let's see what I don't know. John's saying I got glassy eyes. I hope not. I don't think they're that classy. I did have a little bit of whiskey, but look at that drop off. I show all REITs. We went from we lost 20 some people. Good Lord. Maybe don't go to all REITs. Didn't know it was that. Let's see. CNR. I don't know CNR. Oh, there you go.
Railroad, I think, right? Canadian National
Yeah.
Railroad.
Yep. The railroads. We were just talking about railroads.
Yeah.
Let's see. They were talking. I think that's interesting. Sorry, I see one comment. RTX is contracting out the inspection repair. Yeah, so that I think he's responding to somebody else that I caught. I love this one, dude. I love playing this game. Forrest Moto says you guys are a little younger than moi. I don't know about that, maybe, but Home Depot was the first stock I bought in '99. That is awesome. At the time, Bob Nardelli left GE. Interesting. Are you guys averaging down? I am averaging down on my high conviction plays, and we'll see. How old are you? First, you tell me. I'm not going to say how old are you, Forrest Moto, if you're still watching. Dude, what happened? Is there a big play in the football game or something? Everybody's leaving. We got to Space Kook Comics, Procter and Gamble all day. Nice. McDonald's was the strongest during the '08 recession. Yeah, they still had a bit of I don't know about that. On Simply Safe, it shows the recession return. I don't remember what it is. T-Row has no debt but won't stop going down. I think that is because if we have a recession, I think the market is worried about investors not putting in as much money because, right, again, I've never dug deep into them, but I know they have a lot of wealth management. And when there's less assets under management, they're making less money from what I understand. So if we have a recession, people aren't as likely to keep buying and putting money into what they manage. So I think that's what the market is worried about, hurting their revenue and therefore their earnings. I feel how you invest has a lot to do with who you are. I'm sorry. I thought I was dyslexic there for a second. I did read that right, Pat. I'm not just teasing you with your R. It's a little Scottish. He's retired. The main thing to look for are stable dividends. T and Vs are a small percent of the portfolio, so he will hang in there for the money, and that's fine. Like what do they say? That's why it's personal finance, right? Put the personal finance. Have we looked into SPYI?
Mm-mm.
No. Have you? Is
I
that
keep
like a
hearing about it,
high
but I've
yield
never.
dividend ETF?
I think so.
I think that's S&P. I don't know. Yeah, if you want to
Neos
double,
S&P 500 High Income ETF.
doesn't ring a bell.
Looks like it's a covered call ETF.
Those are all the rage
Yeah.
nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Covered
I'm
call
gonna get caught
ETFs
up.
are a dime a dozen these days.
We say just yield junkies.
I was gonna say, should we reveal the new term?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know I always take that. Who was it? It wasn't. Was it Rick James?
Yeah.
Who?
The heck of a drug.
Cocaine is one hell of a drug.
Yeah, I think it
Was
I
that
think it
Rick
was.
James?
Let me look
So
it up.
you know me. I've been saying passive income is a hell of a drug, and it's true. It's true. You can start chasing those bigger hits of yield. Um, does O's debt really matter a ton since they've tripled net lease? Yes, debt always matters. It always matters. So
Debt
yes.
comes with the territory,
Yep.
just with real estate investment trust. But yeah, you want to make sure the debt's still serviceable, no matter what type of company it is.
But just the simple fact they're going to still have to pay interest on the debt that they have outstanding, and if the leases aren't escalating enough to keep up with the debt, then that's going to cut into their earnings, right? So that's going to be less money to go all around for shareholders, which I think is what a lot of the market's worried about. So yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely matters. And Dapper Frank there says it's going to keep dropping until the Fed stops raising rates. It could be. It could be. There you go, Ryne. Waking up with sunshine. The morning stream. Why does that make me think of morning
I know what
stream?
you're thinking of.
Yeah, that just popped in. Nasty, you nasty people. Dude, look at this from Korea. I think that's
That's
the first
awesome.
person I've talked to from Korea. So salute to you. Happy to have you on board. I
That's awesome.
assume it's the southern part of Korea and not the northern part. I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess. Have you ever seen that that there's shots of North Korea and South Korea at nighttime from a satellite? And South Korea, which is obviously capitalism loving, free markets, from what I understand, nothing's perfect, just lit up like a Christmas tree. And then North Korea, there's just a few pockets of light. It's just pitch black. The biggest pocket of light is of course Pyongyang, where the dear leader lives. And I don't
Hey,
know.
wouldn't that be something though if the only thing they were allowed to watch in North Korea was like dividend investing YouTube channels?
Yeah, that's how
It's
you
like
get a
they've
boost
got
your
their own
viewers.
version of like Times Square and they've just got this stream like up on the big screen.
Dude, it is the closest thing to it. I mean, that's yeah. I've read a few things on North Korea, and it's just it literally whatever dear leader says, that's what's going to be done. That's what goes. No questions asked. Mo's going to do well during turbulent times. Yeah, I'm still on the fence. My wife and I were talking about Mo because we've lost multiple family members uh, to tobacco use, and also reading Guy Spears' book, which I know you have, um, the education of a son of a gun. I knew it. I was like the education of a value investor. There you go. In that, he talks about one of the things that he looks for is if the company is a net positive all around to society. And because tobacco is not, he will not invest in tobacco because he says, I know it's legal, and this is just our opinion, but tobacco use hurts people. So we don't want to invest. And, Warren and Charlie are kind of the same way. So that's something we're thinking about. We're not making any decisions just yet, but
Russ,
yeah.
what are you reading what are you reading right now? Anything good? We haven't talked
Uh,
about books for a while.
yeah. No, right now I'm reading a copywriting book. So I'm kind
Oh
of in
yeah.
between investing books. Funny thing, I'm reading Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards. Then I have a book called $100 Million Offer by Alex Hormozy, which is
Yeah.
next. And I just started reading an audiobook on Hoopla something I've wanted to read for a while by, I think, Ray Bradbury, called Something Wicked This Way Comes. Fiction book, but it's, when October hits, it's my favorite month. It's getting cool. The leaves are changing. There's spooky decorations, spooky stuff going on. I like to read a couple horror audiobooks. So, but I don't want to go down that path because I could just get sucked into just, that's all I'll do is listen to horror audiobooks. So try to relegate it just to October. It's my October treat. What about you?
I'll be sure
what
to
are you
get you
reading?
the Goosebumps collection for your birthday.
Let's do it.
So I'm reading this right here. I think we've talked about it. This is How Do You Know by Christopher Mayer,
Yeah.
who's the author of 100 Baggers. Is that what it was? What it is? But the subtitle is A Guide to Clear Thinking About Wall Street Investing in Life, and it's really good. The whole point of the book is like, how do you know what makes a good investment? How do you know that what you're looking at and the way you're thinking is right? How do you know that the way that you're going about things is the right way? And the short answer is you don't really know, because there's so many variables to consider, and there are so many different ways things can go differently than how you plan. So you really don't know, which probably doesn't inspire much confidence as an investor, but definitely makes you think.
It's kind of funny. I shared I really love it. Once a week, you guys should check it out. Jack Howe on the Barron's Streetwise podcast, as we're dealing with a throg in the throat here. You hear? I hate when I get those throgs in the throat. It's just awful. But he was talking about discounted cash flow analysis, DCF analysis. And it's funny because he kind of pointed out you're supposed to figure out cash flow like 5-10 years into the future with some sort of accuracy. And he's like, but never mind that a lot of analysts have trouble predicting revenues for the current quarter. It's like, oh yeah, like that's what I've always thought, is that we're supposed to put that number on it. But it's like, dude, these people can't predict revenue like 3 months in advance, but we're going to confidently say, this is what cash flow will be 9 years from now. It's like, you just don't know. But while you're looking for the probably to support my thing, just jump in here when you're when you're ready. PSA. I don't know if you're buying that. Public storage.
Is that a public storage?
Yeah. Any opinion on Vici's acquisition of 38 bowling alleys? Do you think they're compromising quality locations for growth? I don't think so, because Ed Petoniak, the CEO, has said that they want to branch out more into experiential. And they got the gaming, and they're trying to grow too, which is why I think I don't remember who I heard say it, that company like GLPI, Gaming and Leisure Properties, has a bit better growth trajectory because they're smaller and they're involved in the casinos like you see off the expressway in like middle and rural America. I don't know, rural, I guess rural. It's those casinos like that. So. Oh, dude, there he is. Wait, I got to hide your comment.
The
The
man, the
one
myth,
and
the
only.
legend.
I was going to say, if you got merch, dude, there he is. That's a big boy. I'm so
Yeah.
happy he
So
made an appearance.
there's this website. I don't know what it's called, but my fiance a while back took a picture of Peanut's head, and through this website you can make air fresheners like for your car that dangle from your
No.
rear view mirror. And
Really?
so we have one of Peanut just dangling there.
I didn't even know that existed.
Hilarious.
You're going to have to send me that.
Yeah.
As soon as my wife hears it, I guarantee you we'll have one dangling by next weekend. I know it. I just know it. Oh, Darth, you're going to bed. Well, sweet dreams, my love. We'll see you in the next one.
Good night, sweet prince.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm almost caught up. It takes a while for me, Troy Marsh, there he is. Troy Destroy. He made it. Can't wait to speak with Ryne. Oh yeah, you're gonna be doing his, right? You're gonna be on.
Yeah,
with him.
we're gonna talk on, I think, November 18th.
Yeah, we talked about. I don't think we're on the stream. SVOL. That is the short volatility. I looked into it briefly. I think when we were off the stream or off the recording. I didn't really like it because, and maybe I don't know enough about it, but it looked to me like it's going to make money when the market goes down. But I think it's a mixture of a lot of moving pieces, and I really don't understand that much about it. How about you?
Yeah, I haven't ever really looked into it. Is it another covered call ETF?
I think they have a component of it, but there's a lot of it that are short, and I'm not going to say anymore because I'm just going to muck it up. Here we go. Forest Moto Adventure. So yes, you are indeed older than us. At 52, I will be celebrating my 46th birthday in April in Las Vegas. I'm making it happen. I'm saying it right here. So April 20th to be exact. And no, I'm not a cannabis fan. So you are indeed older than us, Mr. Forest Moto, but not that much older. Okay, let's see. Good. I'm almost there. Matt, did you see Team America and the interview? Team America I saw, but not the interview. I am writing that down. I forgot about that.
I'm the other way around. I've seen the interview, but I have not seen Team America.
No.
That movie came out. I was pretty young when that movie came out, and I remember my parents would never let me watch that growing up, and I haven't seen it. So my parents still won't let me watch it.
Just get them permission. I've seen it once, and it was funny. I remember laughing a lot, but the interview, I do need to see that. Forest Moto says, DG, chairman came back as CEO, Todd Vassos. I do believe he can bring the business. I do think it is way oversold, but in this environment we're in, I mean, I don't know. I might want to wait. I've been looking, and they got close to going back under 100, but I assume that's why they popped in price this week, right? I mean, I don't. I'm guessing that's news that did it because they had a bit of a jump. So, oh, here we go. I love it. We're gonna get to one funny one here. Harsh, I skipped your first one. Worst stock right now is UTS and SCHW. What's the W one?
Charles Schwab.
No, just Schwab. I'm thinking like they got the D, they got
you thinking it's an ETF?
The real estate. Yeah, I thought it was one of their ETFs. Like,
yeah.
No, that is the granddaddy of them all. Nice. UTS. Yeah, that's potato. I was gonna put them in that video I did, but they only have data going back a couple of years, so I was like, eh.
UTS is a PPCE classic.
Yeah, it sure is. Dude, and him with the chips. I was in a gas station once, and I tagged him on Twitter. I took a picture of some UTS chips, and I was like, thinking of you, PPC. And dude, Dominion went from the 80s to the 40s. No kidding. I did not know that. Oh, boy, here we go. Now we got the age. Pat's pushing 70. I don't know you guys. I just see your names. I love this. Now I know Pat is pushing 70. That's my parents' age, right about that. Close to that. Not that old. Don't let them hear that. Sam says, hello. Sam with the photographer. Dude, Sam. Nice. I assume that's Sam, right? My eyesight's going. Let's see. The 40s are a great decade. So far. I can't believe I'm toward the latter half of them. Christ almighty.
Russ, you seriously do not. I know people tell you this all the time, but you do not look your age at all.
45, man.
Not at all, man.
I'm pickled. That's why. I stole that from an interview I heard with Ozzy so many years ago. That's nobody remembers that. Isn't that funny? I was like, as soon as I say that, people are like, oh, he ripped off Ozzy from that one interview in 2004 that nobody heard,
Like some obscure interview.
Yeah, in my mind's like everybody's gonna know. But anyway, so there you go. Now you know. Every time you hear me say it's because I'm pickled, that's shout out to Ozzy. Jim's got Grateful Dead t-shirts older than us. I love it, man. Let's get it. I guess that would. He's 67. So yeah, you would be 22 when I was born. So ish. Team America's crude. Yeah, it's a little bit crude. That's what makes it so funny, I think. But yeah, don't there you go. Thoughts on Bank of America compared to other banks. I've not dug into them, but from the countless hours of things I listened to all week, I've heard that they are a little bit more in trouble and I think underwater on a lot of their long dated treasuries. So as long as they never have to sell them, they're going to be fine because as you know, right, price is inverse. So when the yields go up, the current treasuries you have drop in price. And that's kind of what got SVB into trouble. So the problem is when people started pulling their money, then they had to sell those treasuries at a loss. And that just was what collapsed them. So from what I have heard, and I don't know if you've done any digging, Ryan, but they'll be okay as long as they don't have to sell any of those. I'd like to know if any of you think that's not correct.
One not a really bank, but one company in the sector that I think is worth looking at right now is Morgan Stanley. Um,
Yeah.
Morgan Stanley. I'm talking about it in my video coming out on Wednesday, but man, they have really come down in share price, and right now those dividend stats are just juicy. We're looking at like a 4.7% yield, I think, a 5-year dividend growth CAGR right around 30%, and they've been growing the dividend for the last decade, I believe. So it's looking good.
Yeah, and as I hear that, I think I think it's working, dude. I think it's working because my brain wants to be like, yes, sold, but now I'm like, okay, so that's where they've been. This is where they are, and
So where are
what
they
does it
going?
look like where they're going, and where we're going or where they're going? Is that going to greatly negatively impact their performance and paying that dividend? So,
Yeah, and they dropped. They reported earnings not too long ago. They beat on both the top and bottom line. So on the surface it looked pretty good. But they reported I think some lower interest income, I believe, or investment income, one of those twos, lower net income,
the NII,
something
I
along
think.
those lines. Yeah, something like that. And there was one other thing that made them drop in share price. So on the surface it looked good, but under the hood maybe it was looking a little bit rough.
Beautiful. As we're talking about these old guys, I love this. Only 21, dude.
It's
Dude, you're
awesome.
so far ahead of where I was at 21. Like, I mean, like light years ahead. I cannot even tell you how far ahead you are. So just be thankful that you're just even absorbing all of this,
Yeah.
just everything going on. It's going to pay dividends for you in more ways than one. Here we go. Ages 59 and a half for Fast Eddie.
Nice.
Sounded like a young guy to me. I love it.
Cool.
Sam's 55. Dude, I love it.
Nice.
It's just such a nice spread. 21 to 70.
That's cool.
Beautiful. Um, the magic safe
Yeah.
withdrawal. Dude, that's exactly right. And I think about that 59 and a half. So all my retirement stuff, not touching till at least 59 and a half. So, all right, let's see as we're getting close to landing the plane here. Is there anything funny? Anybody got any last parting words as we're wrapping up our weekly communion here? Here we
I
go.
got a
Oh,
question.
Stephanie
Oh,
Link. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
we'll,
ahead.
we'll wrap it up with this, I guess.
Yeah.
Russ, what this upcoming week? What's it look like for you? What's on the agenda as far as your portfolio goes? What do you have in mind?
Well, I have some couple $100 in my retirement account. I was going to be buying more Aries Capital, but we'll see. I read a Seeking Alpha article from Sam Smith that's got me
Yeah, yeah,
thinking about Aries. That came out this morning. Won't get into that now, but yeah, we got earnings. We've got
yeah.
I think Tuesday's a big day. Tuesday I think is like Visa, Texas Instruments, Microsoft. I forget. I looked at it. I looked at what's coming up. One I thought of you was Rollins is expected to raise their dividend this week. So
I'm so glad you brought them up, dude, because I was just looking today and I didn't realize how much they've come down in the last month. And I'm hoping it keeps going. I think if it gets a little bit closer to $30 per share, I might just have to do it. That's one
yeah, I
I've
need
really
to.
been looking at for a while.
Yeah, you keep talking about them, so I need to look into them a little more. All right, here we go. We'll wrap up with some ages. I like this. JR bought his first house at 21. I bought my first condo at 24. So close. Dude, Phil those 39. I love it. You're not over
Nice.
the hill yet, buddy. You got a ways to go. 45. There we go. Ivan, we're the same age. Although I don't know your birth month. I'm April of 78. So uh, John, uh, the highest credit debt, if people don't pay their Visa and MasterCard, will the stock value Visa and MasterCard be hurt if people don't pay their outstanding balance? No, because I think I don't know the inner workings of that. I guess that's something I should know. Kind of caught me a little off guard. Great question. Do you know about that, Ryan?
Well, if they don't
So
pay
if
their
you,
bill,
yeah,
they'll just keep getting late fees and keep racking up more interest um, until the individual probably just declares bankruptcy.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
don't. That's a great question. That
um,
sounds like a job for Chat GPT.
and at which point I would not think Visa and MasterCard would get the money that they're owed for that. But the chances of so many people going into bankruptcy, I would imagine are pretty low.
But you know what they do though? Also, I do remember now that there's a provision that they set money aside for that for people that
Yeah.
are, I guess, I don't want to call it a non-accrual. I think is the BDC term for people that are like late or potentially could be defaulting. But I know they set money aside for those potential.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They account for that in the same way that like retail companies account for shrink or
yeah.
theft, you know.
So I would say hi, Kevin.
Yeah,
He's
hey Kevin.
Derek's cleaning his house. Okay, cool. Cleaning the portfolio house. Nice. So, all right, gonna be 43. I think anything crazy important here last. I think we can wrap up with the last comment of. There you go, Kevin. I
Okay.
knew it. There you go.
Oh,
Kevin
okay. Yeah.
says the bank bears the risk of loss. Interesting. Yeah, I thought I remember reading something like that. I might have watched something on one of your videos, Kevin, talking about that. So that's
I wasn't thinking about that because then yeah, Visa and MasterCard are just the intermediary, so that
right,
makes
right.
sense.
Yeah, interesting. I love it, man.
That makes
So,
sense.
dude, thank you. Thanks for hopping on with me here. It's so much easier when you have somebody and you don't have to talk the whole time. But you know, yeah, if you don't know who Ryne is, go to his channel. It's click on the @ sign in the description, whatever. Sign up for his stuff, his newsletter. Ryne, is it no retirewithryne.com.
Yeah.
No fancy
That's
little
it.
jingle for that yet. You got to
Just
get
don't
a
ask me
jingle.
about Visa or MasterCard because apparently I get that all twisted up.
We're only human, dude. We're only
Yeah.
human. So,
Not
hey,
thinking.
thanks for popping on with me. Thank you, everybody, and
Dude, thank you
enjoy
for having me.
anytime, man. Anytime. I'm always available and whatever. I'm here. I'm coasting. I'm coasting. We're gonna coast right on out with the good old the late great Pee Wee Herman. So, I love him. So I love all you people for watching and
We're gonna
sticking
hula
around.
on out of here.
I don't do that. Anyway, there you go. You got me to do it. All right, everybody. I'll see you next week. So long.
See you guys. Thank you for